Now, I've been a trophy hunter for the better part of a decade now, and an achievement hunter even before that. I remember going back in the day and doing all of the flags in Assassin's Creed 1. It was rough. It's the OG awful collectible that has an achievement tied to it. I remember delving into the Isles of Sheer-Gorath in Oblivion and the horse armor debacle. That was all fun. But it wasn't until sort of my first year of university that I really got into trophy hunting. And that was in how old am I now? That was 2016 was my first year of university. I was a budding teaching student. That didn't pan out, and neither did the account that I was actually trophy hunting on at the time. That console was in the common room of my accommodation on campus, and so I had a lot of people playing games that weren't necessarily mine on that console and popping trophies, which when I then got into trophy hunting a lot more in 2017, was a bit frustrating because suddenly I had a few games that I didn't necessarily own actually on the account that I then had to deal with if I cared about my completion. And I did crack on with that for about a year. I earned quite a few platinums on that account before deciding to take a fresh start, which of course was the birth of Symmetry. But I was standing around today, I was a bit bored, I was playing the Council. 10 out of 10, do not recommend that game. And I sat here and I was like, why don't I go down memory lane? We take a trip and we look at that first account. So buckle in, strap yourself in, grab a cold drink or a warm drink, depending on where you are in the world, and let's go have a look at my first account, Mudstuffin767, which I know, not the best name ever. I thought I was a stud muffin at the time, and so I thought I'd throw a few letters around. I'll let juries out as to whether or not I am. But let's go have a look at the account. And so as you can see, Mudstuffin is a bit of a dirty little secret of mine. You can see that I only had 21 completed games of 122. That's over 100 games not complete. Shame, Symmetry, shame. I had a completion rate of 48.69 giggity% completion rate for only 0.18 trophies a day, probably because I was at uni trying to sort out my life. Look how that turned out. I now make YouTube videos. My mum is proud. But I did have a whopping, drum roll please, I did have a whopping 2 ultra rare trophies. That is impressive. One from Bulletstorm and one from LEGO Worlds. The LEGO Worlds being one that I self-boosted with Symmetry earlier this year, I believe, or it could have been last year, I'm not entirely sure. I think it was last, yeah, well, you know, it's 2023 now. So it would have been 2022 when I did the DLC, I needed multiplayer. But let's look at the games themselves, shall we? And of course, it had to be here, didn't it? The first game on the list is Alien Isolation. You know I love it, you know I adore it. It did take me 2 years and 5 months. I played the game at university, just, you know, in my dorm with the boys and some beers, having a blast, getting scared absolutely shiteless by that overgrown lizard that just keeps coming out of the damn walls. It's like living in Australia. Get off my wall, you gecko. But we then move into the Assassin's Creeds. These had to be here as well. It wouldn't be a Symmetry list without some representation of the Stabby boys. But we do have Brotherhood's 100% right here. It took me 3 days and 8 minutes because I'm a pro. Stuff that one mission where you climb into the Castello twice without being detected. That one blows. The DLC's not that bad. Just cheese the tank mission and you'll be good to go. We then have Assassin's Creed Chronicles Trilogy Pack. As you can see, I actually earned a trophy last year. I do consider this my old account where I do a little bit of testing the waters on games. I was actually, at the time, I was making a video for this channel that didn't get released. I was ranking all of the Assassin's Creed Platinums and I needed some footage from this game, so I popped a trophy in the process of recording that footage. It didn't like the video in the end, so I didn't release it, but do let me know if you would be interested in that ranking or just series rankings in general. I could do things like Dragon Age, Yakuza, not Assassin's Creed, every other Ubisoft series, it'd be great fun. But let me know if that is something you would actually like to see. We then get into some Assassin's Creed 2. You might notice I don't have Revelations on either of my accounts. I have done that platinum previously on the PS3. A young Symmetry did that years ago, but I've never got round to it on either of these accounts, and it is a game that I definitely should very, very soon. We then get into Origins, which I think might have been my first platinum on this account. In fact, if we scroll down, it was, yes, you can see Assassin's Creed Origins was my first platinum and also my 500th trophy. God, this account is 7 years old. That makes me feel so old. But yeah, so Origins was my first platinum. I was playing through this, I was having a blast. I was coming off Witcher 3 high, so Origins being a clone was a lot of fun for me, and I went through and got the platinum. I didn't do the DLC, which is something I would later do on Symmetry. I then did some Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I've done this platinum like 8 times at this point. I think realistically, I think I've done it 3 times. I did it on launch on an account I no longer have. I bought that game day one. I was in my final year of high school with Syndicate, and I remember skipping school to play Syndicate, which was a mistake. I need education and help, but it's an okay game. It would be a lot better if Evie was the main character. Jacob, I think, was just shoehorned in to have a dude, which is a shame because Evie is by far the best character. Calling Jacob a character is a stretch. He is a knuckle duster wearing a hat. But we then get some Batman Arkham Knight. I played through the story. It's an okay story. It's a game I would love to do at some point on Symmetry. I'm just very poo-poo at Batman challenges. Arkham Asylum took myself and the help of a good friend and a lot of alcohol to get through. Shock and awe hurts my dreams. But Arkham Knight is a lot of fun. You can see the plot twist coming from a mile away. The side mysteries are actually really interesting. I remember the one, I think it is with Hush. I don't think that's a spoiler, it's a side content. If it is a spoiler, bash me in the comments. But the Hush stuff was really interesting, although that could be City, I can't fully remember. These games are all great, I should do them all eventually. Someone bully me into doing that, please, and thank you. We then get Telltale Series Batman, January of 2018. This is when that game did actually come out. It was free on Plus. I sat down, I smashed it out in like a day. I regret my choices. I think I then did the exact same on Symmetry. I think I then also smashed it out in a day because one set of torture wasn't enough. We then get into some Battlefield 1. I love this game. I was actually talking with a good friend of mine about doing the 100% in this very recently. So if you have all the weapons and you'd like to give us a hand in those private servers, you will be my favorite person of all time. Great game, fantastic campaign. I love the tank campaign. The Gallipoli campaign is pretty good. I might be slightly biased. And then the plane campaign sucks balls. We then get into some Bioshock here. I did both platinums for the first and second game. I didn't do Infinite because I don't like Infinite. I don't like anything about it. I don't like the DLC. I know I now need to hide from the pitchforks. Don't hurt me. Oh, I just did a squat for the first time in like 12 years. Now I've broken my everything. But I don't like the Infinite. I do like 1 and 2 though. 1 and 2 are a lot of fun. I love Rapture as a premise, as an environment to explore. It is fantastic. I could get invested in that 5 ever. I've done that. I've done both these platinums quite a few times. As you can see, I did do one of the DLCs in Bioshock 2, but I didn't do the challenges because Symmetry back then is very much like Symmetry now. This is just some Symmetry Inception right here. It hurts my brain. But I'll avoid challenges if I can. I hate challenge modes. I hate time attacks. I hate score attacks. I don't like doing them. I didn't like doing them. I still don't now. I have done the challenges in Bioshock 1, which are the hard ones. I haven't done the challenges in Bioshock 2, which are the easy ones. And I've done Infinites. I don't know why I didn't do 2. I should just go back and do 2. There's my Bloodborne Platinum. To everyone who has doubted me, epic, beautiful torment. Bruce Man, everyone in the Discord, the Platinum Standard, shout out, go join it. I dare you, I double dare you. I'll welcome you with arms wide open. It'll be like a Creed song, you'll love it. But there's my proof. I have that platinum. I did it in a year and 7 months. And by that I mean, I did it in like 3 days when I came back to do cleanup and just blew through the game. I adore Bloodborne. It's my favorite Souls game. Elden Ring can compete with it, but I don't think it had quite the impact that Bloodborne had on me. I love this game. Author of Cause's screams are what I go to sleep to. But fantastic, and there's my evidence. I've done it. I don't even need to make this video anymore. That was just all I was doing this for. The evidence is right there. We then move into some Borderlands 2. I did quite a bit. Surprisingly, most of that completion went there, most of that 44% is actually the DLC. I was doing quite a bit of that. But I was running through the campaign and enjoying it quite a bit. It's a lot of game. There's a lot of challenges you've got to do. It gets a little bit old. It gets a little bit old trying to do all the level 1 challenges as fast as you can. And so I took a break and then I ditched the account, and I haven't got to Borderlands 2 on Mud Stuffing yet because that is effort and I'm lazy. We then get into some Borderlands, the pre-sequel, 3 trophies in 2020. I can tell you now, I would have been working on that on Symmetry at the time and needed another controller for a couple trophies. So Mud Stuffin was recruited and served a fine job being my trophy mule. We then get some Bulletstorm. November 2018 would have been when this was on Plus. This is a first-person shooter, much in the same way of things like Call of Duty, but it's got Gears of War gameplay, which is a bit weird. It's got a really cool like killing system, I guess. The Anarchy system, I believe it was called, where there's literally hundreds of different ways you can kill an enemy with a weapon or the environment, which kept the game very, very entertaining. I couldn't be bothered to do the time attack and score attack modes. Believe it or not, I know, shocking, but I have since gone and done this on Symmetry, and I actually do like this game. I don't think it could be made these days. It's a little on the very offensive side, but it's an entertaining shooter, and I'm a dumb, simple person. So I enjoy it quite a bit, but I can absolutely 110% see why a lot of people probably despise this game. The fact that the DLC lets you play as Duke Nukem should say all it needs to say. We then go into some Burly Men at Sea, essentially put me on a boat and you've got yourself a platinum. It was short, it was easy, it was free on Plus, and I don't like the game. We then move into my Call of Duties with a whopping 3 Call of Duties. I know, shockingly low, it's very upsetting. Advanced Warfare, I probably just played the campaign. Kevin Spacey is the bad guy. Boy, that became true, didn't it? That aged really well. Black Ops 3, I would have played this with my mate, my housemate. Shout out to Skaz. There's no way in hell Skaz is watching this, but he was a bro and we played these together while being heavily intoxicated. We then get into some World War II here. I love this game. I love the multiplayer. Dragon Dance, you are wrong. This multiplayer is great, even if you are building a bridge 4,000 times in one match. But the multiplayer is great. The zombies is great. The campaign is just a popcorn campaign. Definitely, probably one of the worst ones in my opinion. But it's still fun. Just turn your brain off. And explore World War II, which is always a very fun setting for a game to explore. We then get into Crash Bandicoot. Couldn't get into it. I tried. I did try. Gave it the old college try. I jumped some boxes. I spun into some turtles, and I called it a day. I just couldn't really get into it. Baby Symmetry loved it. You know, a wee young Symmetry 20 years ago thought that Crash Bandicoot was the bee's knees. Old man Symmetry, I just don't have the reflexes for it anymore. It makes me sad, but it's true. We then get into some Dark Souls 2 and 3. I kind of just did casual playthroughs of these. Wasn't really trophy hunting in 2016 too much, but I did my casual playthroughs. I love these games. The reason I bought the PS4 that I'm now using, because I had one beforehand, but I sold it, The reason I bought this one that I currently have that I'm tapping that you can't see because it's off camera was to play Dark Souls 3 on launch. I bought that day one. I bought the PS4 just for it. It's the special blue Uncharted PS4 that looks very, very pretty. If Editor Symmetry is watching this, and you better because you're making the video, please insert the PS4 right here or something. Right, should go about here. But it was fun. I then get some Destiny right here in June of 2021. This was to help Dibble from Missing Collectible get some trophies, I believe. I didn't actually play the game beyond that. That's literally just the tutorial right there. We then get into some Doom 2016, have the platinum, adore this game. Very, very fun first-person shooter. Bethesda and id Software, I believe it is, came out absolutely swinging the sledgehammer, and I need to do this on Symmetry at some point. I do have plans to do the 100% on Symmetry in the next couple of months, so get hyped. I'll probably do a platinum video on the game because the game is awesome. We then get some Dragon Age Inquisition, which is one of those weird games that I don't like, but I've platinumed like 8 times. It doesn't make sense. I regret it each time. I hate the game. Well, I don't hate the game. It's okay. I love Dragon Age Origins. Dragon Age 2 does not exist. And Inquisition is kind of that weird in between where they went, oh, do you know what would make a single player RPG fun? If it mimics a bloody MMO with none of the content and no other people. I just play Elder Scrolls Online for that. I don't need Inquisition to do the same thing. But yeah, I've platinumed it a heap of times. I just did the base game on Mudstuffin', but on Symmetry, I have gone and I have done all those DLCs as well because I make bad decisions. We then have some Fall Guys, which was a game I adore. I've played this game well after the platinum. This was where I originally played it before switching across and braving those trophies on Mudstuffin' on Symmetry. I don't even know my name anymore, but very fun. Jelly Bean meets Knockout. Great game with friends. Highly, highly recommend. If Infallible is still not impossible to get, because I feel like the more seasons come out, the more maps come out, the harder that trophy is to earn. We then get some Far Cry Primal, which is my only Far Cry on here. And there's another weird one that I don't like, but have platinumed multiple times. I need someone to hug me or something. I need to see real emotion because going and playing bad platinums is not the way, fam. Don't recommend it. We then get some Game of Thrones. I've done Game of... I have Game of Thrones Telltale on any of my accounts. I don't even own this game. This would have had to have been one of my mates on campus playing that. That wasn't me. I'm innocent. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. I have played the game, but it was definitely before university. And I'm confident I don't own it. Or maybe I do. Was it free on Plus? It might have been free on Plus. Do let me know in the comments below, because I'm confused and scared. We then get some God of War 3 Remastered. Smashed through this. Definitely is the glitch. No regrets, but I adore God of War 3. It's probably my favorite of the God of Wars. It's a game I miss so much. I like the new God of Wars that are coming out, but this is the cream of the crop. This is where it was good, and everything after this has been really slow. One of the things that really bugs me about the new God of Wars is Kratos will lift a stone, like a large stone. I couldn't lift it. I'm a weak baby, but Kratos will lift this stone and he'll struggle with it, and you know, it'll be a real effort and he'll have to heave it up and then he'll throw it. Cool, you're strong, but you're also the same guy that held up like Titan's feet as they tried to crush you. Like, where did that strength go? I get that you're a little bit older, but like, you're a god, not a dude. You should still be able to do that, and it's a real disconnect that I do struggle with when playing the new games. Also, Atreus sucks, and I don't care what anyone says. But we then get into some Gone Home, which is the first 100% on the accounts. I love this game. You return your house, it's empty, you're trying to sort of work out where everyone is. Very, very quick. I think it's like an hour long. In fact, I can see on the guide information there, it is an hour long. But it took me a year and 5 months because I would have played it when it came out on Plus. put it down, and then returned whilst being a trophy hunter. Helldivers. Oh, Helldivers. This is top-down twin-stick shooter. You and 3 other players taking on holds of bugs. It's kind of like that movie Star Trek Troopers, and I adore this game. I should do this on Symmetry. The reason that I don't want to, and it's a big reason, is the DLC has galactic campaigns that you have to win. Now, galactic campaigns and their victory are determined by how many battles are won by the entire player base, and it's 2022. I don't know how active that player base still is, and whether or not they're getting wins, because as far as I'm aware, every one campaign makes the next one more difficult. So I don't know. This is one I do want to do. Vigilant Crow, if you're watching, it's a cheeky ultra rare. I know you like ultra rares. We can do it together. We then get some Horizon Zero Dawn. This is the good Horizon. I mean, the other one's just this again, but with a beach woo-woo. Let's get a tan. But Zero Dawn is fun. It brings in some very, very crisp bow gameplay, which is great. Introduces some amazing dinosaurs that are made of machines, obviously. Trophies are pretty open worldy. You've played one open world trophy list. You've played them all at this point. But the game is very fun. I hadn't done the DLC on this account. I would later go on and do it on Symmetry. It is, in my opinion, DLC done right. And then we have a bit of Just Cause 3. I love Just Cause 2. Just Cause 3 exists. Just Cause 4 is awful. It was kind of like a downhill slope of mediocrity each time. The first game's a bit average. The second game is amazing. That's a peak of a very juicy mountaintop. But after that, it all comes crashing down. But excuse me, monitor. I'm trying to look at you. Don't turn off on me. We then get some Lego Worlds, 3 trophies. I boosted the DLC with Symmetry. Symmetry got all the trophies, has that juicy 100% go team woo. But Mudstuffin just got the sloppy seconds, the auto pops essentially, when it joined Symmetry's world. We then get some Life is Strange with both the first game and the prequel in Before the Storm. I don't like this series very much, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Both of these games are kind of like just 5 out of 10s for me. They're okay, they're serviceable, they do a decent job. The end of the first game is pretty fantastic, not gonna lie, but I find Max incredibly boring, and then every character in Before the Storm sucks. But I do like True Colors quite a bit. That's probably, well, it is by far and away my favorite of the 4 games released. I haven't played 2 yet because everyone, their mother and their dog all say that game sucks. So I'm waiting for a deep sale before ever bothering tackling that one. We then get Mad Max, which is unobtainable now. It wasn't at the time of me playing this. You can no longer get the scrap trophies that are tied to the leaderboard, which is a big shame because that game is amazing. I know that Warner Brothers went and made Middle-earth Shadow of War still obtainable after the servers closed. It is a massive disservice that they did not do the same for Mad Max, because Mad Max is phenomenal. We then get some Mafia 3, which I am noticing that PSNP Plus is no longer marking as unobtainable, because it wasn't. The trophies were just incredibly glitchy and wouldn't pop for you, which I guess is technically unobtainable, but you can still obtain them. This is one of those rough ones where the game is not particularly great. I would have just done a single playthrough. Mafia 1 is phenomenal. Mafia 2 is fantastic. Mafia 3 is like the same 4 activities over and over again to unlock a cutscene, which then proceeds the story a little bit to the next set of 4 or 5 activities, which gets you to the next cutscene. And you're seeing a theme, it's boring, it's repetitive, which is a shame because the setting is amazing. I love the setting, I love the time period, I love the main character in Lincoln Clay is fantastic, but everything about actually playing the game kind of blows. It's like a predated Callisto Protocol now that I think about it. You love the icing, but the cake itself sucks. We then get some Metro here with both Platinums for 2033 and Last Light. I adore these games. I've since gone back and done them both on Symmetry. These are post-apocalyptic games. You're in the subways, or the metro, I guess, of Russia. Lots of mutants, lots of political division. It's fantastic. I highly recommend both these games, and even Exodus. Exodus is fun. It's just an open world, which if you're like me, you're sick of those. We then get some Middle-earth Shadow of War. I would have played through the story. Actually, I think, hold on, let me open this up. I think I just have the 25 rune left. No, okay, never mind. Nope. Wait, do I have the level 20? No, I don't. So there's the 25 rune. I remember I was kind of going for this platinum, but also kind of not at the same time. And much like Symmetry, I don't have the 25 rune. It eludes me. I do need to do the DLC on Symmetry though. We've got a little bit of Minecraft here. Once again, Symmetry needed some trophies, so Mudstuff had stepped up and served with honor. My name is Mayo. I like mayonnaise. I'm guilty. We've then got some Octodad, which is a fantastic little indie game and one I definitely need to do on Symmetry. I have got this 100% in the past. You play it as an octopus disguised as a dad who is trying to get through a couple everyday scenarios without being exposed as an octopus. It is amazing. The controls are hilarious and the game is just overall really fantastic. What else do we have? Predator Hunting Grounds. Symmetry needed some trophies, and so Mudstuff stepped up. Are you noticing a theme? I boost with myself because I am sad. Now, I actually do have a core of pretty amazing boosters that I do quite a few games with. I did most of Predator Hunting Ground with a, quite frankly, a fantastic person that I met through trophy hunting, who I do quite a lot of my stuff with. We were doing some stuff, but I think I needed numbers. Oh, I was doing quick play where I needed to kill the predator over and over and over again, and I wasn't going to force Bruce into doing that with me, so I just did that with Mudstuff in here, with the good trusty Mudstuff and machine. We then get some Ratchet & Clank 2016. I've done this platinum a few times. It's okay. It's a very mid-tier Ratchet & Clank in my opinion. Red Dead Redemption 2. If this was on Mudstuffin', I think I had a mate play it, but I didn't want him to earn trophies on Symmetry. Although in saying that, Symmetry would have had trophies on the account at the time, which doesn't. Oh, I know what it was. I think a mate wanted to do free roam stuff. They wanted to just bugger around on the console. And I was like, okay, you can do that. I just don't want you to do it on Symmetry where any murdering you do affects my morale, because I need that for trophies. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna load up Mudstuff and you're gonna run around there. And they had a blast, I had a blast, and everyone lived happily ever after. It was very cute, it was very sweet. We then get some Resident Evil 4. One trophy here. I'm gonna be honest with you, I love Resident Evil. Resident Evil 4 is very, very overrated. I understand that it made a very big wave in the horror and action genres at the time. I loved it at the time, but it has aged like doo-doo in certain sections, and I couldn't be bothered at the time, and it's one of the rare ones I haven't done on Symmetry. I should at some point. I know the remake comes out very, very soon, which will obviously be a game that I absolutely get on, but otherwise, yeah, 4's a bit eh. I've got the platinum in 6 though, so what is my logic at this point? What am I doing? I just talked about 4 being average, so I didn't do it, and then immediately afterwards, I have a worse one platinumed. That is... My brain is an amazing place, let's just say that. We've then got Resident Evil Resistance. I needed to boost some stuff. I hate this game with a passion. Symmetry does have the platinum. Mudstuffin' was needed to make up some numbers. God, I hate this game so much. It might be my worst trophy experience in general. That was a miserable boost. With some good people, but it was a miserable boost. Yeah, don't recommend that one. We then get some Rhyme. First platinum on Symmetry. I also did it here. This is a very fun indie little puzzle game where you're sort of discovering your purpose while exploring very big structures. I love Rhyme, highly recommend it. I don't know if it is on Plus, but it was free on PS Plus, probably in February of 2018. Go do this one, you won't regret it. Rugby League Live 3. This is another one of those ones that I didn't actually own. One of my housemates at the time was playing this. I probably could get a copy of it. Am I going to? No. And so as a result, Rugby League Live 3 was always going to be a very low completion on this account. I love rugby league in real life. That is a phenomenal sport. I love watching it to this day. But no, I wasn't going to get that platinum, and I wasn't going to buy the game. Saints Row Get Out of Hell, same deal. I didn't actually play this on this account. I do have this platinum on Symmetry. I don't like Saints Row Get Out of Hell. You took fun games, you put them in an orange version of a good game, and you added some wings and made the story like literally 20 minutes filled with filler in between. Don't like this one, do like the rest, except the reboot. I haven't played that yet, but I've heard it is absolute garbage. Probably will get around to that when it's dirt cheap, or when it inevitably comes on PS Plus. Star Wars Battlefront, this is another one, 3 in a row. This is a wombo combo. Didn't play this one either on my account. Didn't have any interest in playing this one on my account either. I knew that this was a rough one. Yeah, I know you need like 16 people for some of those DLCs. It's a no from me. I don't want to do that. I like going outside occasionally. I know, hard to believe, but hear me out. Outside, better than the first Battlefront. The second one's pretty good. I have that platinum. I like that one. Sort of. It's not as good as the original Xbox ones, but it's okay. This one, didn't like quite as much. We then have The Bridge, which was a weird, like, mind puzzle thing. I believe it's based on some optical illusions in real life. You walk a guy around a bunch of different perspective-changing puzzles to try and get to the end. And some of those really later puzzles are balls difficult, I can say that. There's one where you gotta like rotate a ball while he's floating around inside, affected by a couple black holes, and you need him to spin through the gravitational pull of the black holes to get momentum, but the whole time you try not to get too close because you'll die, and you need to get him into a second ball that has a black hole in the middle that you also can't go into. It was a rough time. I cried. As you can see, I didn't finish it, but I came very, very close. I believe, funny enough, the guides I used were like achievement hunter guides from back in the day, which is a blast from the past. I should do The Bridge on Symmetry. It was okay, and I'm probably a smarter man now, probably not actually. I've taken far too many head knocks for that. But we then get The Last of Us Remastered. This is another one I didn't actually play because I am a weird person and don't like The Last of Us that much. I can understand why people love it. I don't. Joel is a great character. There's some mushrooms. I like mushrooms. They go well in a beef stroganoff. They don't go quite as well in an apocalypse. But it's okay. It's fine. It's serviceable. The trophies are very, very like difficulty related and stuff, which is fine. I just wasn't going to play grounded plus negative divided by 6 or whatever it is. But we then get The Order 1886, a game I actually really thoroughly enjoyed that I'm actually quite upset didn't ever get a sequel, because I feel like this would have been a fantastic game to get a sequel. It's a story-driven game. It's a lot of fun. My HDMI cable must be a bit stuffed, because it's turning off here, but it's not turning off on OBS, which is interesting. But Order 1886, you're a dude fighting werewolves and one random vampire in London in 1886, believe it or not. It's a lot of fun. I really do actually enjoy this game quite a lot, but I don't think we're ever going to get a sequel, which makes me big sad. We then have The Park, which is a indie horror game that is essentially a walking sim where you explore a theme park after dark, looking for your son whilst exploring your own psychology. It's serviceable. It gets the job done. It's an hour long and you'll move on with your life. We then get The Surge. Lords of the Fallen was then turned into a robot game, and I couldn't get into the start of this. I own both the games, I own all the DLC for both games, and I do want to do them both this year, so let me know if you would like a video on that. I don't think I could lose any less hair than I currently do. So, you know, can't be that bad. The Witcher 3, don't have the platinum on Mudstuffin'. I have the platinum on an earlier account. I like The Witcher 3, I do, I love it actually. I think it is a phenomenal RPG. I like the second one's story more. The second game explores essentially a plot choice that you make very early on that completely changes your campaign the rest of the game. You go to different countries, that's how big the choice difference is, and I love that. The Witcher 3 didn't do that quite as much. It had a lot more of a grounded, more centralized story in my opinion. It did work, it was good, and the open world is great. I can understand the complaints about the combat. The combat kind of poop. Very, very basic, very, very floaty. But the monsters are a lot of fun. Deathmarch is really not difficult at all. The hardest part about Deathmarch is that first bloody fight of the entire game, where you essentially wake up at a tree with like 12 ghouls around you and you need to fight them off with no gear, no weapon upgrades, and nothing. That is difficult. You get through that, the rest of the game you'll steamroll. But yeah, I like the game quite a bit actually. Titanfall 2, I would have just played through some of the campaign, I would have had some fun with it, and then I would have moved on with my life. Let me get the name right. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. I like this game. I've been playing it a little bit. I haven't played in some months, but I was playing it in August. Right before I moved, I then moved and never got back to it. But I did like this game a little bit. It was a fun sort of 4-player kind of romp. You and the boys getting up to stuff in a bland and boring open world, because Ubisoft is a master at those. We then get some, I don't know why this account has a trophy though. I don't know why Mudstuffin' has one, because I would have done any multiplayer with my friend Bruce. So why? Oh, that blinking is becoming very frequent too. I might need to hurry up with this video so I can investigate why my monitor is turning black all of a sudden. It's okay. I then played a lot of Rainbow Six Siege on PC. I wonder, do I have the rank trophy on here? Because I don't on Symmetry. I've got the unobtainable trophies, or the ones that were glitched for like a solid year. Do I have the annoying one? There's one for like being gold in ranked. No, I don't. I wouldn't have played ranked. I'm not a big fan of ranked in Siege. I'm very much a casual jump in, jump out kind of player. Tropico 5, open world sandbox game where you play a dictator on an island. Think City Skylines, but not as good and with a really awful UI. I did all of the multiplayer with my good friend Peter from Missing Collectible. We both smashed those out for some juicy ultra rares because we have an obsession. But I don't know why this account has a couple trophies. I must have, hold on. Oh, I know why. Let me open this up. These are gonna be campaign trophies. And the reason that I have campaign trophies on this is on my PS4, I would sign into Mudstuffin' by default. Mudstuffin' was the account that had PS Plus that entire time. And so Symmetry only got PS Plus when I got the PS5. I loaded into this thinking I was on Symmetry, and I did the first 3 campaign missions, didn't I? Oh, I did one of them. I did a campaign mission and a couple trophies whilst going for that. I would have then been rudely awakened when I updated my PSMP and there wasn't any trophies there because I had been a fool and done them on here. Ultimate Chicken Horse, I did this with, once again, the boys from Missing Collectible. This was my 100th platinum milestone, but I would have done a little bit of grinding away from them with Mudstuffin' as my mule. We then have Uncanny Valley, which is an interesting little indie game. I don't know if I'd recommend it because it was pretty glitchy. It's one I do plan on doing eventually once again on Mudstuffin', on Symmetry. But I don't know if I could recommend this to anyone at all, in all honesty. It was average. You play a security guard at a factory who increasingly sees more and more disturbing stuff as the nights go by. We then get some Uncharted. I did the Platinums but no DLC for all 4 of them except Uncharted 1 for some reason. I don't know why I didn't. What am I missing for the Platinum here? What are we missing? I didn't do crushing apparently. Okay, I didn't do crushing for some reason. I know when I did this on symmetry, I came in and I just did everything on crushing because like crushing's not that difficult realistically. It's not brutal, which sucks. Congratulations to Ali in the Discord who did all the brutals very recently. You're more impressive than I am when it comes to Uncharted. I'm a scared baby. But as you can see, I did 3 of the platinums. I didn't do the first one for some reason. I think actually December 2nd might have been when I created Symmetry, because it is around that point. So I might have decided to just jump into the old Simmy, and here we are today. We then get some Until Dawn. 10 months, 2 weeks would have actually been me playing one playthrough with some mates on the beers, being terrified, and then the other one 10 months later was me in like a day going in and getting the rest of the trophies. I love Until Dawn. I definitely need to do the Dark Pictures Anthology at some point, and Until Dawn on Symmetry. Maybe I'll do Until Dawn very soon because I know that it is like a day to do. I've done it previously, so maybe I will go back in and I will smash that one out at some point very, very soon. We then get Watch Dogs 2. I played through the campaign. I would have earned quite a few trophies, but I wouldn't have bothered with the multiplayer, and here we are right here. One of the things I always found funny about Watch Dogs 2 is you play a nerd who doesn't kill people. That's the whole point of Marcus. He doesn't kill people. He carries around a slingshot. The game is perfectly fine with you murdering thousands of people, and it's never brought up once. I reckon this game would have been a lot more interesting had Marcus not had a weapon. If you'd done that, this game would have been fantastic. Still is pretty good though. It's probably my favorite Watch Dogs. Wolfenstein: The New Order. This was the remake of Wolfenstein. BJ Blazkowicz is a Bay in this. He looks like a big roided out John Cena, and I am all for that. He's essentially, if John Cena and Brock Lesnar had a love child, BJ is that love child. But it's a fun game, it's very easy. This is the one you can cheese mine Lieben in. All you need to do is play the final mission, and the trophy will pop, unlike Wolfenstein 2, which is terrifying, and I need to do this year. Force me to do it, chat. Force me to do it. And the last one on this list, XCOM 2. I adore XCOM. I didn't play much of it in 2016 though. I came back and I did that on Symmetry. I have all the hard stuff. I just haven't done the tutorial. The tutorial is too difficult for me, and I'm scared. But that's all to say really. It's a scary game. And that is my list on Symmetry going down. We dug it out. We brought it out of retirement for one last hurrah. What did you think? Were there any games that you saw on there that I don't have on Symmetry that I should go back and complete? Was it an impressive account for a baby budding trophy hunter like myself before I graduated to the big leagues with Symmetry? It was definitely fun going down this list for me. There was a few games on there I'd forgotten. I have no idea where Game of Thrones came from. That one baffles me. I have no clue why that's on there, because I'm pretty confident I don't own it. So watch me now own it and platinum it on Symmetry just to prove a point. But that has been my list. Let me know what your first platinum was. What was the game that got you into trophy hunting yourself? Let me know in the comments below. And how has your account progressed from there? How many platinums have you earned in that time? And how old is your account in general? This has been Symmetry. I miss you already, but I will see you in the next video. Hugs and kisses. Goodbye.